Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. It's your favorite host, Oba, here to serve you the hottest and the most trending topics. Today, we are diving deep into the political chessboard of Nigeria as we approach the 2027 elections. The air is thick with speculations, and two names keep popping up in the most interesting conversation. Former President Goodluck Jonathan and the ever-popular P2B. Both are political heavyweights, but they represent different paths for our country. Jonathan, the experienced former leader, and Obi, the face of a new political movement. The big question on everyone's mind is who holds the better card? We've got a clip here from Arise News where this exactly topic is being dissected. Let's take a look at the first part and see what the experts are saying. So sit back and take a watch.
Prof, what's your read about the Jonathan
Thank you.
Kwankwaso tickets at a point in time like this? And some people are saying the North will favor it. I'm like, if the North will favor it, hypothetically, I'm not saying the North will favor it because some people are saying the North will favor it, but if they favor it, what is it now that all of a sudden they see in Jonathan now that they didn't see in 2015?
Well, the most immediate is because whether we like it or not, the campaign has started. Two, whether we like it or not, politicians on all sides, I think, in my opinion, are desperate. Desperate for the right team, desperate to appeal to the voter, desperate for relevance, and so on. So it's not new. We have seen this kind of movements before in other elections, all kinds of permutations, all kinds of combinations. What is probably surprising is to say the North will support this or the South will support that and so on. These are all speculations. What we do know is that all the political actors or the major political actors are in this race and everyone wants to sell their point of view and so on. Whether or not this will pan out, I think it's speculative. When you say the North, when you say the South, we are not talking of the people. I think we are talking of the politicians and their desire to win elections and so on. But certainly it's interesting to see the extent all parties are going to pool support to bring whoever they think is a heavyweight, quote unquote. So these are interesting times, but we wait to see. I personally think it's a long way to 2027. But of course, desperation is pushing a lot of people into all kinds of combinations and choices.
All right, so in that first part, Professor Tuko Mohammed Baba from the Arewa Consultative Forum gives his perspective. He's pointing out that the campaign for 2027 has unofficially kicked off, and politicians are already scrambling for relevance and voters' appeal. He dismisses the idea of a unified northern or southern bloc vote as pure speculation at this point. He rightly says that all the political actors are in the race, trying to sell their vision. What I find interesting is his emphasis on the desperation among politicians. It's a game of permutations and combination right now, and everyone is trying to find that winning formula. He seems to be saying, don't get carried away by these early talks. It's all just political maneuvering. Now, let's see where the conversation goes next. The next part touches on a very juicy angle, the one-term presidency debate. Let's take a watch.
Glad you reiterated the fact that we have a long way to go until 2027, but unfortunately, these are the conversations that are happening as politicians continue to strategize behind the scenes. Now, one major conversation that's happening is the issue of the one term, serving 4 years, of which Peter Obi has come out and made a vow with the people and made a promise that he would only serve one term. So some people are saying that, well, Goodluck Jonathan is preferable because he's only entitled to one term constitutionally. Do you think that this gives Goodluck Jonathan a competitive edge in terms of becoming more appealing to those in the North who feel that in 2031 the rotation must be respected and brought back to the North? So, sir, let me just make my sorry, sir. If I may just make my question clear, why would Goodluck Jonathan be attractive to the North?
I don't know whether he is attractive or he is not. I think these are permutations and campaign being pushed by politicians. I don't know if Goodluck Jonathan will be attractive to anybody, except if he comes out and says exactly what they have for the country and will wait for the voters to see if that is true. But so far, I think most people are just speculating on whether which part of Nigeria will support which candidate or not. Well, Goodluck Jonathan, on the surface of it, is attractive. Why? Because over time, and especially since 2015, he has accumulated a number of positives. One, he gave up when he thought he lost the election quietly, and he had been living a quiet life, enjoying international recognition, being sent on missions overseas, and so on. And of course, some of the baggage he carried on to 2015, or people thought he was clueless and so on. The development since 2015 seemed to favor him, and so on. So he looks attractive, but I think there is still a long way to go for him to sell himself. Let's not also forget that in the build-up to 2023, there were wide speculations that the APC was wooing Goodluck Jonathan to bring him into the fray, to stand for election as if he was, quote-unquote, forgiven by the same APC that vilified him. In the long run, it did not work out. In the long run, he did not come out openly to say, yeah, he was interested in the position and so on. But, you know, Goodluck Jonathan will be a candidate, but of course he needs to do a lot more to sell himself, to offer himself as an alternative, to show that he's now different from the Goodluck Jonathan we knew, whether as a person or circumstances have turned out that some of the criticisms against him were simply political and so on. Well, anybody could be a candidate, but I think given the circumstances right now in the country, the difficulties people are facing, the challenging economic conditions, it will take a lot more for a politician, whether they are from the south, the north, or from the moon, to convince themselves, to convince the electorate that they are different, or that they offer a new alternative.
But Prof,
Yes,
he stands in that unique situation that he's the only one who only has one constitutional term allowed to him, except, of course, for the incumbent who also has one term. Is this not something that gets people excited? Because you know that no matter what, he has to go. Unlike Epita Obi, for example, who, you know, due to public demand at the time, may say, well, the people have said I should continue. Is this not a juicy and attractive offer?
Not to me. Let's get this clear. The one-term hubris that is being propounded is not a constitutional requirement. This is not the only time we have had some candidates saying they will go for only one term. Either they never got to do so, or in fact they change their mind. Let's not forget, the late President Buhari, in the build-up to the 2015 election, at some point has said he would go for one term. This did not happen. So the one-term issue is not a constitutional requirement, and you cannot hold anybody responsible for that. And again, to me, it's kind of crass. If, for example, a candidate wins, hypothetically, Peter Obi, and he does very well, and he appeals to the electorate, does it mean that when it's time for the second term, so to speak, he would not contest because he had promised something that is not constitutional? To me, the one-term idea is just a campaign issue being thrown about by politicians, and I think it's an act of desperation. But I think the electorate should be allowed to decide whether a candidate can go for a second term or not. And I think it will be robbing the nation the benefit of selecting a person that they think has served well and will do well and so on. So that leaves us should change. So let's get this clear. The one-time thing is just being thrown about because politicians think that is what the electorate in the north, in the south, or anywhere would like to hear. But I am personally very skeptical about it, and I look at it as just a campaign issue that, well, nobody can listen. Even Atiku Abubakar at some point, I think leading up to 2015, had promised he would work for one term and then help other regions of the country to do. Let's face this thing. These are just manipulations of opinions, manipulations of sentiments by politicians, and they're whipping up to sway the electorate to their side. To me, I don't give it any serious consideration. This is just a campaign gimmick.
Okay, so that second half really hits the nail on the head. The discussion shifts to the one-term strategy. The host brings up Peter Obi's promise to serve only one term, which is a powerful message. But then, she cleverly points out that Goodluck Jonathan is constitutionally only entitled to one more term. This creates a fascinating dynamic. Does this make Jonathan a more attractive candidate, especially to regions concerned about power rotation? The argument is that with Jonathan, there's a guaranteed power shift after 4 years. Professor Mohammed Baba seems to think Jonathan has become more appealing over time, especially since leaving office in 2015. He has gained international recognition and has shared some of his negative perspectives from his presidency. However, the professor remains skeptical about the whole one-term promise, calling it a political gimmick that has been used before by other politicians, including former President Buhari, who later ran for a second term. Now, for my take on all this entire conversation is a perfect example of the complex political game in Nigeria. On one hand, you have Peter Obi, who built a massive movement based on the idea of competence, character, and a break from the old guard. His one-term vow is a strategic move to build trust and show that he's not driven by a desire to cling to power. It's a message that resonates with a lot of young, frustrated Nigerians who are tired of career politicians. On the other hand, the Goodluck Jonathan angle is pure political genius from those floating the idea. By highlighting his one-term limitation, they are trying to counter the rotational presidency argument. They are essentially telling the North, look, if you back Jonathan, you get power back in just 4 years, guaranteed. It's a very pragmatic and strategic move that bypasses ideology and focuses on the raw politics of power sharing. But here's the thing. Are we, the voters, going to be swayed by these political calculations? Or are we going to focus on the real issues? The economy is biting hard. Insecurity is still a major problem, and our infrastructure is in desperate need of an upgrade. While the politicians are busy with their permutations, what are their actual plans to solve these problems? Professor Mohammed Baba is right to be skeptical. We've seen these promises before. The one-term pledge can easily be discarded once a politician gets into office, with supporters claiming public demand for a second term. So, while it's an interesting political strategy, I urge everyone to look beyond the surface. For me, the 2027 election shouldn't be about who is from where or who will serve for how long. It should be a contest of ideas, a debate about vision, and a clear choice based on who has the best plan to move Nigeria forward. Whether it's Jonathan, Obi, or any other candidate, they need to convince us with concrete, workable solutions, not just clever political maneuvering. Let's demand more from our leaders and not get lost in the game they play. That's my 2 cents on the matter. What do you think, guys? Is the one-term promise a game changer? Who do you think is the more strategic choice between Jonathan and Obi? Drop your comments below. Let's get the conversation going. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Oba's Trending Gist for more hot topics. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.